Libra, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of December. So before I jump into any of this, this is most applicable for your rising sign, also known as your ascendant. It's how other people perceive you, especially when they first meet you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself, and then also your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally through that emotional lens. So just to kind of talk about the month from a high level perspective, we have Neptune, Mercury, and Chiron all stationed direct. It's a pretty big deal. It's a lot of planets stationing direct. At the same time, we actually have Mars stationing retrograde, and this one is also significant because it only happens every 2 years. And then on top of it, we start and end the month with a new moon. So there's a lot happening here. So jumping into the new moon in Sagittarius, in my time zone, this is on December 1st at 1:21 in the morning Eastern time. So I'm on the East Coast in the United States. If you're in a different time zone, it's probable that you could have this happen on November 30th. And so these videos will be posted roughly like 12 hours in advance of this. So hopefully you see it, all of it. But anyway, so the new moon in Sagittarius, this is very optimistic. Sagittarius likes the big picture, high level thinking here, kind of coming up with what does that big plan look like? A lot of truth behind it, like what is realistic, what's not realistic. And so for you, Sagittarius rules your third house of communication. So you can already see where this is going. A lot of high level conversations, a lot of optimism connected to any kind of path forward, wherever you want your life to take you. This is kind of like feeling good and exuberant about the entire situation. And because the sun and the moon are at the same point, so the way that you're expressing it and the way that you feel about it completely align here. And this sun and moon in Sagittarius will trine Mars and Leo. Leo for you rules your house of friendships. So this new moon, and when you think about your high level growth, the maybe optimistic conversations you're having with other people, the way that you're expressing yourself, it easily blends with whatever action you're trying to take in your friendships here. And it's not the individual relationships, it's you in relation to that collective group of people that you choose to be around. And so easy blend of energy here. Love to see that happening. This new moon will also trine Chiron retrograde in Aries. For you, this is a wound that's been coming up related to relationships and maybe commitment issues there because it is sitting in your 7th house of relationships. Could even be connected to contracts. Maybe you're just one of those people that really hesitates to sign a contract and it's because maybe you've been screwed over in the past. That would be a wound connected to contracts. Could be the same thing as it relates to a marriage or kind of those long-term relationships here. And so what's happening is as you kind of express what you want from like a big picture perspective in your life and you have these optimistic conversations with other people, it really helps you to understand that wound, maybe what's triggering it, what you need to do to kind of resolve that wound. So I like it from that perspective. And then we have the sun and moon square Saturn in Pisces. And so this energy here, Saturn in Pisces is sitting in your 6th house of daily routines. Daily routines encompasses a lot. So it's your eating habits, your exercise habits, if you have them, it's your kind of normal routine. So from a work standpoint, what does that look like? Even like just all those things that you would do kind of on almost a set schedule type of energy, not like those one-off situations where you go to a party for New Year's. That's a once a year thing. That's not really part of your daily life. And so Saturn in Pisces is about you working on your dream life, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish there. And so what I'm getting the sense of, because there's a conflict here, these kind of optimistic, high-level conversations, you might be finding ways to grow and expand something that's making it more difficult right now, just during this new moon, to work on whatever goals and dreams that you have. Because it's more of, let me talk about things, let me express exactly what it is that I want to accomplish, rather than put the effort and energy into it. You can certainly do that. You just have to kind of find a way to balance all of it. Same thing with the next one here. So during this new moon, it'll be opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so Jupiter retrograde, this is an interesting one because you've got sun and moon in Sagittarius. You've got Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, sitting here on the opposite side of this equation. And so Jupiter retrograde is a lot of internal growth sitting in the sign of Gemini. So this is about getting into the details. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? That is actually sitting in your house of growth and expansion. So you kind of have a lot of growth and expansion on both sides here, but it is a push-pull. Is the focus on inner growth and expansion? Is it on maybe big picture perspective, outward communication with other people? Because one is outward, one is inward, and that's where the push-pull is coming into play. And then on the 6th, we have Mars station retrograde in the sign of Leo. So that's going to happen at 6:33 p.m. Eastern time. And again, this energy is sitting in your house of friendships. And so any kind of action that you may have been taking as it relates to your friends, what's going to happen during this Mars retrograde is you're going to direct a lot of that inward. Really maybe thinking through what actions do you need to take? What actions do you want to take? Do you want to form a different type of relationship with these people? Because again, it is the collective. So how do they see you? How do you want to be seen by those people? And so that's what the Mars retrograde is really all about for you. And during this retrograde, there is a trine to Sun in Sagittarius, which means all of those kind of easygoing, high-level, optimistic conversations, the way that you're expressing yourself, these two easily blend together. So there's something that you're learning about your growth and expansion that helps you figure out what kind of actions you need to take as it relates to your friends. And the same thing, so Mars will also trine Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. That Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, because you've got a Mars retrograde, so you've got these internal actions. We have the Sun in Sagittarius, so kind of that outward expression of what it is that you want to accomplish. But you also have Mercury retrograde in that energy too. So there's a lot of inner understanding, a lot of processing information to help you figure out, what do I need to do in order to grow and expand who I am or achieve the goals that I've set for myself? And then how does that relate back to any kind of action that you want to take with your friends? What it's helping you do during this entire time is really get clear on what your goals are. And then once you have that clarity, it's about, okay, well, what do I need to do in order to accomplish those goals? And the goals right now seem to be focused on your growth and expansion and friends. This Mars in Leo, this Mars retrograde, will be opposite Venus in Capricorn. And so Venus in the sign of Capricorn is sitting in your 4th house of home. So Capricorn is like structure, plans, let's kind of come up with a strategy here and then implement it. Venus in that energy is all about harmony and balance and bringing things together. So when it comes to your home life, what you've been doing with this Venus and Capricorn energy is really focused there, focused on what you value, what you love, kind of maintaining and maybe even establishing that kind of balance. If you didn't have balance there before, Venus and Capricorn probably helped you during this time. That is going to be opposite any kind of action that you want to take as it relates to your friends. And so it's kind of this one is a push-pull energy because it is a direct opposition, but one is the priority over the other. Either you're focused on your friends or you're focused on your home life. We also have Mars retrograde trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so Neptune retrograde in Pisces, this is your dream life. What is it that you want to live? How do you want to live in that environment? And so Neptune retrograde, Neptune's going to go direct here in a minute, but when Neptune has been in this retrograde cycle, there's been a lot of seeing things clearly, lifting the fog, really gaining that clarity on what it is that you're trying to accomplish here. And so with this Mars retrograde in Leo, as you continue to learn about your growth and expansion, start figuring out what actions you want to take in your friendships, it's really going to help you even gain more clarity in what you're trying to accomplish. What kind of life do you want to live? What do you want your routines to look like on a regular basis? And so I like the way that this is all kind of coming together for you. There is another opposition. So Mars retrograde will be opposite Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto just shifted into the Aquarius. So we've got this energy for roughly 20 years. And so Pluto is a shake-up planet. It is death and rebirth. Let's transform whatever needs to be transformed. Aquarius energy, let's liberate you from anything that may have held you back in the past, whatever structures you've had in place that just don't belong anymore. Let's kind of break you free. That is sitting in your 5th house. Your 5th house is kind of your house of fun. So it's children, short-term relationships, passion projects, hobbies, all of that is kind of incorporated into that house. It's really everything that you enjoy doing outside of work. And so whatever actions that you're trying to figure out that you need to take in your friendships here, it's going to be opposite any kind of changes that might be happening with children or your passion projects. And it's more of like your focus can only be on one thing at a time. And so that would be this opposition energy. You can certainly find a way to balance the two where you can kind of split your time, but I don't know if it really makes sense here, just because we're going to see a lot more of this show up throughout the month. It's more of like, this is really not the right time around the 6th, probably not the best time. And then on the 7th, we have Venus enter the sign of Aquarius. So it wasn't Capricorn and now it's moving into Aquarius. This is sitting in your 5th house. So we just talked about maybe the right time to make changes or maybe focus on your passion projects, things like that was not the focus. Now with Venus entering Aquarius, now we're putting more emphasis in that area of your life. And so what's happening here, Venus focuses on what you love, what you really just enjoy doing, the harmony, the balance. It's actually the ruler of your sign. And so having the ruler of your sign enter into kind of a liberating area of your life, because that's what Aquarius is, it's thinking outside the box. It might be something very technologically advanced here. There might be something that you're trying to bring together from an idea standpoint that incorporates maybe artificial intelligence, or because that's an Aquarius energy, where it's really kind of helping you. I'm getting a sense of like upscale, whatever it is that you're trying to do here. So there might be something in your passions and projects here that you've got these ideas, and this is going to help you find a way to bring them all together and lift it up and kind of create something bigger than what the individual parts are. I'm just getting a really strong sense of that. That might be specific for somebody here, but this is going to conjunct. So when Venus enters into this Aquarius energy, it's going to conjunct Pluto and Aquarius. And so any kind of changes that need to take place in this area of your life, your passion projects, children, things like that, it's going to easily happen here. This is an easy flow of energy. The Pluto energy says, okay, well, if we're going to bring something together, do we need to make room for something else here? What is it that we need to let go of so that we can make room for more of that? That's what this conjunction is all about. And then we have Venus opposite Mars retrograde in Leo. And so we're kind of back to that. Are you going to focus on your passion projects and your children, short-term relationships, or is it going to be what kind of action you want to take in your friendships? And so it's kind of one or the other. You can certainly find a way to balance both. If they're both a priority, you can find a way to balance that. We also have Venus trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so when it comes to that bringing things together, passion projects, things like that, it's going to easily flow with other changes that are taking place. Now, Uranus retrograde, Uranus is like the tower in tarot. And so it's all sudden change, what needs to be shaken up. It's really in your best interest, especially sitting in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is also ruled by Venus here. And so a lot of harmony, a lot of balance. It's sitting in an 8th house, in your 8th house. So this could be connected to the money that you earn, the debt that you pay. I say that because if you have this passion project that you are trying to bring to life in some sort of way that you meant to maybe make you money at some point down the road, there could be an impact to the money that you earn off of this, because this is a trine. This is a very easygoing energy. This might make it a little bit easier for changes or barriers to come down so that you can make money in that project. Or it could be something, I almost said investment, so it could be an investment. But the Uranus retrograde in Taurus sitting in your 8th house could also just be more transformation. What else needs to be removed in order to make this area, this 5th house of fun area, a success? And so there's a lot of that coming into play here when Venus enters Aquarius on the 7th. We also have Venus sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so all of these things connected to children, your hobbies, whatever it is that you're trying to bring together, it's going to create an opportunity for you to gain even more clarity around the goals and the dreams that you have in your daily life. What it's helping you to do is really refine them and just get down into the details, because coming up here in a minute, we'll have Neptune station direct. In fact, it happens the same day that Venus enters into Aquarius. It's just later that day. And so on the 7th at 6:43 p.m. Eastern time, we'll have Neptune station direct in Pisces. This one here is significant. So Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. And so Neptune and Pisces are both about dreams and goals. And what are your ambitions? What is it that you want? Think high level, pie in the sky. What is it you're trying to accomplish here? When Neptune stations direct, after this period of being in a retrograde, all the clarity that you're getting on your dreams, being able to see things more clearly, what's real, what's not real, what is it that you truly want? This here is sitting in your 6th house of daily routines. So you're going to start to see some of this come to life. You are going to be able to incorporate those dreams into everything else that's taking place here. And in fact, it's going to create an opportunity as you get more clear and as you kind of think about, okay, well, how do I make all of this kind of come together? It's going to create an opportunity for you to really work on that area, that passion projects, the short-term relationships, children, whatever area of your life that you're really focused on right now. getting clear and having this clarity and being able to move forward and really go after these dreams, because that's what Neptune going direct is really about. It's about you pursuing your dreams here. And so I like how you getting clear on your daily life, what you want to accomplish, gives you just more backup to do whatever it is that you want from a passion standpoint or a children's standpoint. Because it's not just going to sextile Venus in Aquarius, it's going to do the same thing with Pluto in Aquarius. So it's providing a lot of opportunities for you to really put more effort into whatever it is that you want to accomplish there. It's making room for things. That Pluto energy might have you releasing something else that just doesn't belong in your daily life. Like when you actually think about your dream life, this maybe whatever this detail is just doesn't belong. And so this is part of that energy. It's making room so that you can go after and really have that life that you want. They all kind of aid each other. There's a lot of back and forth energy here. Neptune in Pisces will also trine Mars retrograde in Leo. And so this kind of internal action that you want to take as it relates to your friends, like you really trying to get clear on what you need to do in order to have the friends that you want or the relationship with them that you want. This Neptune in Pisces really helps support that. You've gained so much clarity in the life that you want to live. Now it's about you going after it. Neptune in Pisces will also sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so this kind of dream life that you want to live, the way that you want to live your life, it's creating an opportunity for even more changes to take place. Again, these would be sudden changes, a lot of removing barriers and blockades and anything that would prevent you from moving forward. It's giving you an opportunity for those to happen. It's an opportunity that would have to be seized. And I'm trying to think of a scenario that would show up, but I'm not getting a clear one. So we're just going to move on. Just know that when Neptune stations direct, you're getting a lot of support from all of the work that you've been doing up until now. And then on the 15th, we have the full moon in Gemini. So that happens at 4:02 in the morning Eastern time. And so when this happens, you've got the sun in Sagittarius, you've got the moon in Gemini, so opposite points in the sky. That sun in Sagittarius, a lot of optimistic self-expression, big picture thinking here. Moon in Gemini, you might be thinking your feelings, or you might be really feeling good about the growth and expansion that you are going through, because that moon in Gemini is sitting in your growth house, your expansion, growth, big picture, high level thinking energy. And then the sun in Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is also growth and expansion, and it's sitting in a communication. So there is a push-pull. There might be things that you want to keep to yourself as far as growth and expansion versus maybe saying something out loud. That would be an opposition type of energy, like how much is too much to reveal too soon, that kind of energy. And because we have the moon opposite the sun in Gemini, the moon's in Sagittarius, Jupiter retrograde, or the moon's in Gemini, Jupiter retrograde is also in Gemini. Those two are in close contact. So how you feel about your own inner growth and expansion that maybe you're not ready to talk about yet, those two really help each other. You really feel good about the work that you've been doing to grow and expand who you are. And that, even the Jupiter energy, is going to be opposite the sun. So it might just be that you don't want to express exactly what you're thinking, what you're feeling, or what your true plan really is. You might be okay with kind of giving little bit nuggets of information, but not really expressing all of it. Not until you're ready. And then we have the sun and moon are actually in a T-square with Neptune and Pisces. So when you think about your growth and expansion, how you feel about it, what you're expressing about it, both of those are creating challenges to going after the daily life that you want here. This is not an energy that's going to stick around. It's more of in the moment. The moon moves very quickly, and the sun, it moves roughly a degree every single day. So this is not an energy that's going to stick around. It's just more of right now you're focused on your growth and expansion and probably not much else. And then we have the sun and moon in a positive aspect to Chiron. So that relationship wound that you have, how you're expressing yourself, the kind of growth and expansion that you want to undergo, really does easily flow with healing that relationship wound, or that kind of like intimacy wound as it relates to being in a commitment or entering into some sort of contract here with another person. The way that you feel about your growth and expansion also creates an opportunity for more work to be done as it relates to healing that wound. So I really like how that one plays out with the Chiron energy, because it's really supporting that. Whereas earlier in the year, we weren't really seeing a lot of that energy. Now it's more of, you've been getting a lot of clarity, let's start working on it. And then the same day as the full moon, we have Mercury stationed direct in the sign of Sagittarius. And so we'll actually be in the post shadow until January 2nd, which just means that the energy, that retrograde energy, is going to start to dissipate. So any kind of confusion or maybe inner thinking as opposed to outer expression, because that's the difference between Mercury retrograde versus external. There's a lot of inner thinking versus outward expression. That'll improve. That will definitely improve. And so for you, this is sitting in your third house of communication. So you might find it easier now to communicate with other people, express your ideas, talk about this growth and expansion that you want to undergo. This might be an instance where you start talking about things like what you want to accomplish as it relates to children or your passion projects. Because when Mercury stations direct, it's creating an opportunity for you to really bring something together here. So if you do have some sort of wound connected to relationships, connected to maybe marriage contracts, there's something with contracts that might be coming up as it relates to this Venus in Aquarius, because I'm just getting a sense that you might have a project in the works that relates to, there's something financial connected to it. There's some sort of financial benefit connected to it that might require a contract or investor or something along those lines. And so the way that you're communicating and that clarity within your communication now, it's really going to help you in this area of your life. It's giving you an opportunity to maybe talk about what you want to do, really have those kind of fruitful conversations, kind of big picture, optimistic. These are the plans that I have for this. I don't know why, I'm just getting a very strong sense of that. We'll also have Mercury trine Mars retrograde in Leo. So these kind of optimistic conversations that you're having, or just the clarity in your communication, easily blends with you figuring out what action that you need to take, because Mercury rules communication, but also your understanding of everything too. So with that Mercury stationing direct, things are going to become more clear to you. Mercury in Sagittarius will be opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So we pretty much saw that earlier in the day with the full moon. It's just a little bit different of the energy now because Mercury is the planet of communication. And that is going to be opposite any kind of inner growth that you're looking for. And so again, it's more of, are you expressing it outward? Do you want to keep it inward for right now until you get everything kind of lined up the way that you want and you feel comfortable expressing it? Because that's that push-pull energy. And then we have Mercury square Saturn in Pisces. And so this one's interesting because I'll talk about the Neptune and Pisces first. Mercury in Sagittarius will trine Neptune and Pisces. And so the goals and dreams that you have in your daily life, they fully line up with the way that you're expressing yourself right now. This kind of growth and expansion that you want to outwardly express to other people really does help you in your daily life and living the life that you want for yourself. Where it makes it difficult is actually putting in the effort and energy to make that a reality. So there's a square to Saturn in Pisces, which means that if you really want to work on your dream life and have the daily life that you want for yourself, you can put the effort and energy into it. It just might require a little bit more during this time. It's like, okay, am I focused on the growth and expansion, or am I focused on putting in the effort and energy here? So it's a kind of one or the other. Am I more in the thought phase or in the effort and energy phase? Totally up to you if you want to take care of that at this time. You don't have to. Mercury in Sagittarius sextile Pluto in Aquarius. And so I like how this one plays out too, just because we do have this kind of sextile Venus in Aquarius. We're also seeing it to Pluto in Aquarius. And so any kind of changes that you're looking for as it relates to this passion project, children, I am getting two different senses here. So you might be pursuing multiple areas kind of in this house of fun. And one of them is making room for other things to come into play. So even if it's a project, and I'm getting a sense of a second project that you might be working on, where if you kind of get one up and running, that makes more time and effort available for something else. And so it could be something like that, where you're just getting this opportunity here to really make some adjustments, go after exactly what you want. I like that. And then on the 21st, we have the sun enter Capricorn. So this is the solstice. So if you are like me in the Northern Hemisphere and you're ready for more daylight, here we go. So for you, the sun in Capricorn is in your fourth house of home. And so there's a lot of structure and plans and everything that you feel good about your home environment. Capricorn is definitely a work-driven it's ruled by Saturn. So this is all effort and energy here. And so you might be feeling really ambitious about maybe house projects, things that you want to do within your home environment. A lot of that is being highlighted here. That's going to create obstacles and challenges to any kind of high level conversations that you want to have. And it's more of, are you focused on your home life or are you focused on growth and expansion? Because that Sun in Capricorn energy is about putting the effort into it versus maybe discussing it. So it's thoughts versus action. So what is it that you want to do? That's where the conflict is coming in. And then we have Chiron stationed direct on the 29th at 4:13 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so Chiron is the wound that's been coming to the surface. We've been dealing with this. April 8th, I just can't get that date out of my head. That was really when we had that eclipse on April 8th, and it really highlighted that wound. This here, Chiron was retrograde. You might have been understanding, what triggers this? What do I need to do about this? It was no longer hidden to you. It was kind of forced upon you to really take notice of what it was. How did it get here? What do I need to do to resolve it? And so now with Chiron stationing direct, okay, well, what do I need to do now? Because Chiron is in Aries. Aries is an action-oriented sign. It's sitting in your 7th house. So this can be connected to partnerships, like a marriage. If you are hesitant to get into a marriage or a contract or anything else, Chiron stationing direct, it's now giving you this opportunity to really work on it. It's going to easily flow with however you feel about your growth and expansion, because there is a trine to the moon in Sagittarius. It's also going to trine Mercury in Sagittarius. So all of these growth conversations that you're having, helping you heal this wound. There's a lot of synergy between these, an easy kind of back and forth energy transfer. And so these conversations and the way you feel about your growth and expansion fully aligns with overcoming that wound, really processing and healing through it. And this Chiron in Aries will sextile Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So whatever it is connected to this relationship, it's giving you an opportunity for more inner growth and expansion here. And so it's a lot of, again, there's a lot of energy that's kind of feeding off of each other, but in a really positive way. This one here is a sextile, which means you have to take advantage of the opportunity. It's not something that's just going to organically happen for you, but it's right there. And then we have the new moon in Capricorn. And so this new moon energy, so you've got the sun and the moon at the same degree point of the sky. We started with the new moon, we're ending with the new moon here. This one here is going to be very focused on your home environment. And I like the way that this is playing out, because whatever structures you want to put into place, whatever plans that you have for your home life, now is the time to really go after them. This is what the focus is going to be. So if you're looking to set your intentions during this new moon, home life is really going to be highlighted here. This will sextile Saturn and Pisces. So whatever structures you're trying to put into place, however you feel about your home environment, it's going to provide an opportunity for you to really work on that daily life that you want. What kind of life do you want to live? How does your home environment play into that? What kind of structures do you want to kind of put in your home environment so that you can live that life? And so this one here, it's creating an opportunity. You just have to take advantage of the opportunity. And then we do have the sun and moon square Chiron in Aries, and it's more of that wound that might relate to contracts or marriage or, something, commitment along that level. It's going to be in conflict with whatever structures you're trying to put in place at home. You can put the effort and energy in to kind of work on both at the same time, but the emphasis here is more on the new moon energy as opposed to kind of working through whatever that wound is. Maybe now's not the right time. So Libra, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.